The Sumter County Does, also known as Jock Doe and Jane Doe, were two unidentified homicide victims found in Sumter County, South Carolina on August 9, 1976. They had apparently traveled through various places in the United States before being killed in South Carolina. This was inferred from some of their belongings. Each victim was shot 3 times, receiving 1 shot in the throat, 1 in the chest, and 1 in the back. The weapon was used to believe a .357 caliber revolver. Sumter County Coroner Verna Moore continued to work on the case until her retirement in 2009. The case remains unsolved. Neither of the victims' identities had been found. Despite the fact that their descriptions, sketches on the faces, dental information, and fingerprints were distributed across the United States, authorities decided to halt the investigation until the victims' identities could be discovered. The male victim's nickname, Jacques, may have originated from the French name Jacques. A man who claimed he had met the victims stated that he was told by the male victim that he had left his Canadian family with his girlfriend. The man said that the victim stated that his father was a well-known doctor. This supported the theory that his family was wealthy. In the early morning hours of August 9, 1976, the young man and woman were said to have been seen from a distance by a hermit. It was said that they had been dropped off on Locklear Road, a secluded dirt road between I-95 and SC-341. It is possible that the victims had their vehicle hijacked, possibly by hitchhikers. Then, upon their exiting the vehicle, someone shot them both in the back. At 6:20 a.m., a man named Martin Durant found the bodies and contacted Charles Graham, an employee by a nearby store. Graham in turn contacted the authorities. The male victim was at first believed to be 18 and 22 years of age, but his dentition suggested that he may have been older than 27. The age range was updated to be between 18 and 30 years after his case was entered into NamUs. Born 1946 through 1958. Status: unidentified for 40 years, 7 months, and 12 days. Died August 9th, 1976. Age 18 to 30. In Sumter County, South Carolina, United States. Cause of death: homicide by firearm. Known for: unidentified victim of homicide. Height: 6 feet, 1.25 inches. Weight: 150 pounds. The forensic dentist who examined the man's teeth said he believed he was over 27, but that he had looked younger due to his clothing and build. The victim was white with an olive complexion. He had brown shoulder-length hair, brown eyes, and very distinctive bushy eyebrows. He stood over 6 feet tall, weighed about 150 pounds, and had extensive, elaborate dental work that may have been performed outside the United States. This might indicate a higher socioeconomic status. A unique type of root canal had been done during the man's life, which could be important for discovering who he was. It looked as if he had been midway through a complete dental restoration. The man had a 4-inch appendectomy scar. He had also various scars on his back and shoulders, which indicated frequent participation in contact sports. He was wearing faded Levi brand jeans and a red t-shirt. The shirt reads, Coors, America's Light Beer, on the front, and Camel Challenger GT Sebring 75 on the back, along with a Snoopy design. The shirt was apparently a promotional item from the Sebring races held in Sebring, Florida in 1975, which were sponsored by the Coors Brewing Company. He wore no underwear and carried a pack of Grant's truck stop matches in a pants pocket. The matches are believed to have come from a Grant's truck stop in the Midwest. He wore a yellow-gold Bulova Accutron wristwatch with a Twistoflex band, bearing the serial number H918803. Using this number, investigators were able to determine the Bulova had made the watch in 1968. But when Bulova Company downsized in the early 70s, they destroyed many of their records, meaning that there was no way to ascertain where the victim's watch was distributed or bought. He wore a 14-karat gold ring set with a gray star sapphire stone. The initials JPF were engraved in the ring, which had a Florentine finish. Both the ring and the watch were rather expensive. This, together with the man's elaborate dental work, suggested that he had come from an affluent family. Female victim. The female victim was slightly younger than the man. He was originally thought to be between 18 and 20 years old. After her case was entered into NamUs, her age estimate was increased to 18 to 25 years old. She stood 5'5" tall, 100 to 105 pounds, and had a slim build and an olive complexion like that of her comparison. This led some observers to speculate that they may have been siblings. Born 1951 through 1958. Status: unidentified for 40 years, 7 months, and 12 days. Died August 9th, 1976. 18 through 25. Sumter County, South Carolina, United States. Cause of death: homicide by firearm. Known for: unidentified victim of homicide. Height: 5 feet, 5 inches. Weight: between 100 pounds. The coroner noted that the young woman had unusually long natural eyelashes, and that both victims were very clean and well-groomed. She had fillings in all of her back teeth, and her front teeth would have appeared straight, and even if she were to smile. She had no surgical scars, had never been pregnant, and her legs had not been shaved. Unlike her male companion, no scars were found on her body. She was wearing an unbleached white muslin blouse over a pink front-tying hatter top. She wore blue denim cut-off shorts. She had a floral print scarf tied around her waist as a belt. She wore Stride Right brand wedge-heeled sandals that were lavender and hot pink in color. She wore 3 very distinctive rings. The first ring was a black, oblong stone with what appeared to be small turquoise chips embedded in it. The second had an ornate scrolling feather shape with coral turquoise stones. The third was a simple metal band with red, white, and blue stones. These rings appeared to be authentic handmade Native American or Mexican costume jewelry. They were all made of sterling silver. They appear to have originated in the southwestern United States. Like the man beside her, the female victim wore no underwear. In 1977, a man was arrested in Latta, South Carolina for driving while intoxicated. He owned a revolver of the same kind as the murder weapon. It was proved to actually be the murder weapon after it was test-fired by investigators. The man was located but was not charged because there was no insufficient evidence against him. Investigators traveled to the city of Brunswick, Georgia. They met with a mother and father who were thought to be possible acquaintances of Jane Doe. A missing woman's ex-boyfriend had reported a similarity between the female victim and his ex-girlfriend. After showing the parents of the missing women photographs, neither they nor friends of the missing women could verify that she was a victim. After a dental comparison, it was found that the women did not match. The initials JPF engraved inside the man's ring supported the theory that his name was Jock. The book of matches found in the man's pocket provided some clues. The matches came from a truck stop, which had locations in Idaho, Nebraska, and Arizona. After information was released to the public, a man from Nebraska stated that he may have performed repairs on a car with Oregon or Washington license plates, whose owners matched the description of the victims, but this uncovered no additional leads. Some speculate that Henry Lee Lucas, a serial killer, could be involved in the Sumter County Doe's murders. Lucas himself told police that he had been in South Carolina the day that the victims died, but he was never charged. He died in 2001 due to heart failure. Lucas had confessed to 2 murders that also happened in Sumter County. That of an elderly woman in 1975 and of a young man in 1983. Like most other leads, they revealed no additional clues to the pair's names or their actual murderer. In 2007, both bodies were exhumed to obtain DNA information. The theory that the pair were siblings was then disproved. The testing showed that they were not genetically related, though they resembled each other. The couple's bodies were kept at a local funeral home in caskets with airtight see-through lids in hopes that someone would identify them. People from all over the country called to inquire about them, including several distraught parents of young runaways. None was able to identify the bodies. The bodies remained on display until they began to deteriorate. On August 14th, 1977, 1 year and 5 days after the bodies were found, They were interred in Bethel United Methodist Church in Oswego, South Carolina. Hundreds attended the funeral service. The law enforcement agency raised several $100s to pay the funeral home. Their graves have bronze markers which read male unknown and female unknown. If you have any information of any clues, please let everyone know and see if you can identify these poor people. See, I'll raise it up. See, that is the Jock Doe's ring. If you have any, and that is the Jock Doe's watch. The first ring owned by Jane Doe. And the third ring owned by Jane Doe. So if you have any information of such that, and that's the Jock Doe. Again, any information of his body, please contact the police. And the Jane Doe. Please, let these souls rest and finally be identified. We are begging you for these two's identities. Whoever did this, did possibly the unthinkable. So remember, these two will always be remembered as possibly Jane and Jock Doe, aka Sumter County Joes. So again, Harrison Chandler signing off. Rest in peace, Sumter County Does. 46 to 58 to 1976 for the Jock, and 51 through 58 to 1976 the Jane Doe. You will be forever missed.